Hi, I'm Heather Murphy, and today I'm going to show you how you can get started indexing records at FamilySearch.org. So first of all, open your browser and go to FamilySearch.org. Once you're there, click on Sign In, and if you don't have an account, then go ahead and create an account right now. Enter in your information and sign in. Now up at the top you have indexing. You'll click there and then web indexing. And this will pull up your little home screen for your indexing. You have your batches, any projects that you have started on that you haven't submitted yet, your total records of indexing that you've done, and a little graph that shows your progress that you've made in the last month or the last year. And you can set target goals if you'd like to be able to index so many records in a certain month. So up here at the top, you'll want to click on the blue button, Find Batches. This will bring up a list of all the different projects that they have available at Family Search right now for you to index. It first opens up to any that are in the English language, and you can just scroll through and pick whichever one you'd like. You can also change the language to a variety of different languages to see what projects they have. Let's look at the Spanish language one. I have 2 years of college Spanish, and I've started indexing with Spanish records. And at first, they're a little bit difficult to decipher the handwriting, but after a while, it becomes a little bit easier, and you can really pick out the names and the information. You don't have to be able to read the entire document in order to pull out those key pieces of information that they want indexed. Let's go back to English records and pick one. Let's do these South Africa parish registers, and then just click on Index. That will download a batch to your account, and batches are usually 2 to 4 images, somewhere in that range. Here with these parish registers, they have normally 8 entries to each page, and then we have 2 pages of them. And over here, you can see it's asking about these images. Should they be indexed? If there's any names and information on there that need to be indexed, then it's yes. If it's like a blank page, then the response would be no. So yes, this should be indexed, and yes, they'll be indexed. First of all, for this particular one, it wants to know what event type it is. And you can pull down the search button, and it is a baptism. And then it populates all these other fields that it wants to record for a baptism. Now, the very bottom of this image field, this entry field, are the project instructions. And you can also get to it up here at the top with this little eye. You can click this open, and it will give you all the information that you need to know about indexing. First of all, it will give you specific information for this record set. I highly suggest looking on how to index this particular record. It pulls up this great image where they've clearly shown you where to pull the information for the index. For instance, number 1 is the baptism place, and it shows you right on the document where to get that information. This opens up in another tab, so you can leave it open so you can refer back to it as you get to the hang of it. And then you can go over to the tab that still has this open. You can continue scrolling down, and it gives you just general information about indexing, what to remember about the project. It'll tell you what kinds of information's on the page, what they expect from you, and then this general guidelines. It tells you what information to do in certain circumstances, like if there's not a given name and it only says baby, what to do with that information. I highly, highly recommend looking at these project instructions before you get started, just reading through them so you can understand some of the principles behind it. For instance, for this one, it asks the gender of the child, and nowhere on this document does it actually say the gender of the child. And we don't want to assume what the gender is just from the name. And so you just do Control B, that means blank, and that field is blank. You don't have to worry about putting anything in there. If you have an entry that is unreadable, then you click in this button with a question mark or Control U, and you can see it puts in unreadable. If you have any questions about a specific field, you can, when you're clicked in that field, you just click this little question mark, and it gives you instructions specific to that field. When you've finished going through all of these entries for image 1, then head over to image 2 and index those records. When you're all done, you can click this little airplane and it will send that image back. It will submit them. If you find that you've downloaded an image and maybe the handwriting is too difficult for you, or you get a part way through and you just decide you're not going to do it, click up here to batch and return batch. That sends it back. Family Search can give it to someone else and you don't need to feel responsible for it anymore. Any of these little icons up here, you can hover over and it tells you what they will do, add entries, delete entries. If you need handwriting helps, these are some examples, though I also suggest looking at the document itself. Some words you may be able to decipher, and from those words, you'll know what the letters are, and you can apply that to words that you maybe don't know. There's also availability of international characters that you can insert those, and yet again, our project instructions. So when you're all done, go ahead and send it in, and that's all there is to it. It's really easy. They've made it really simple, and don't worry about getting it 100% correct. You do your best, but they have multiple people indexing the same images, and then they have someone else reviewing that as well, so to help get a final project that is close to accurate as possible. So see what you can do. These batches don't take very long, sometimes 10 to 20 minutes. Maybe if you're getting started, it'll be a little bit longer if the handwriting is a little bit difficult, but it's really not a large time commitment and can make a real big difference in somebody's research when they're trying to find their ancestors. If you've ever had a hint or used an index, then you know how valuable this information can be. So good luck and ask questions if you need to. Have a great day.